Hello, thanks for watching Bangkok ChitChat. It's the YouTube channel from Thailand and all about Thailand. Today, we're going to be chatting to drone expert Michael Brown, along with Richard from the Hua Hin report. We'll be looking at drone rules and regulations, especially here in Thailand. I keep on calling it zone. Which drones are value for money and what to be aware of when buying one. For those starting off, what should they buy? And also Michael will explain about his latest drone video and the concept behind it. So once again, Richard, welcome, and a special welcome to Michael Brown. Thanks for joining us.
So Michael, just a little question. I mean, I'm into obviously the video. We've got our own studio as well, so I'm familiar with drones. Yeah, but how long have you been using drones? Yeah.
Well, I actually bought mine in February of this year, so this is a very new thing to me.
Change from expert.
And I've been doing a lot of different projects, and I got a little bored. And I was thinking, what new toy can I get? And then I thought, okay, I need a drone. So it all just went from there.
So you've been? Did you get a drone just to practice with, a cheap one, or what? And you learn how to use it, or it just came to you just like that? Yeah.
It did, just like that. And I actually went for kind of a mid-range drone. It's called a DJI Mini #2.
Yeah.
And the package I got, you can either buy the drone just on its own, or you can buy it with what they call the Go Fly package, I think. Mm-hmm. It's the drone, 3 batteries, which is very important, and the controller, and then a little bag that everything fits in. It's like a camera bag with little compartments. And it's suited my needs perfectly.
How much was that?
Incredibly well-engineered product. Pardon?
How much was that roughly?
He asked you how much it was.
Oh, that was 19,000 baht on the nose. And I bought it from Lazada, but it was the official web store of the DJI company in Bangkok.
It's so small. It's only about that big, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's about the size of your hand, with some propellers out the side. It literally weighs 249 grams.
Yeah.
I think before
tiny.
we get into in-depth questions about what should you buy when you're starting off and the rest of it, the rules and regulations in Thailand, I mean, obviously there's probably paper loads of it, but can you sort of briefly explain what they are?
Sure. Any drone that has a camera must be licensed. If you have a drone without a camera, and I'm not sure what value that has in the world today, and it doesn't matter what the weight is. Some countries, if it's under 250 grams, you don't have to have a license, and that's specifically why this one is built at 249 grams. But in Thailand, that rule doesn't apply. It's got a camera, and you need to license it, and you need 3 things. You need $1 million baht liability policy, insurance policy. You need a license to be a pilot of the drone, and you need a license for the radio transmitter in the drone. And you get those on 2 different websites here in Thailand.
And can foreigners be licensed the same as a Thai?
There are very different rules if you're a Thai or if you're wrong. And I ran into that problem and basically gave up. And I sold the drone to my friend who's Thai, and now he is the licensed owner and has listed me as an additional pilot on the drone. And that's the only way it works. Because basically one of the licenses says it's designed, the website, in the choices that you can click, you're either Thai or you're a tourist, and you're bringing it in on your holiday and then you're taking it back out again. There's no possible choice for being a long-term foreigner because the license is only good for 90 days. Okay. And there's no possible way to extend another 90 days. It just doesn't exist as an option on the website.
I've got a question. Just, you mentioned 3 things, and the pilot license, is that just an application? That's not a test? You don't have to,
No, there's no test associated with it. You just simply fill in a lot of information on the website, and then they take a month or 2, and then they come back and approve it, or they ask for more information.
That's annually renewable or ongoing?
Well, as I said,
90
if you're a
days.
Farang, you have to renew it every 90 days, but that's impossible. But if you're Thai, it's good for the lifetime of the drone.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So one thing is, if it's private land, as I understand it, if it's private land, that you don't need the license. But if you're actually going in public, you also need to get permits and things like that as well.
That is absolutely incorrect. No, that is incorrect in Thailand at this time. There's no difference between public land and private land, and
Right,
in
okay,
terms
that's
of licensing
interesting.
and flying.
So once you have those three things that you mentioned, you can go fly.
Absolutely, yes.
Go fly
That's
with
all.
me.
Yeah, there is a question I want to ask at the end. It's a really stupid one, but I need to know. Anyway, go on.
Okay, so within the actual drones, what particular? I'll come back to what I asked before. Was you got the DJI, which I'm very familiar with, yeah, and there was an awful lot of copies. And they were coming from China and they've been getting sold at 2,500 baht. But the problem with them was they looked fine, but the propellers were not sinking. So what happened was that the drone, when you started, it should go up, yeah. But what actually happened, it went zzz, away.
Oh
yeah?
no.
So there's
Yeah.
there's lots of cons out there. So what I would say is exactly what you said, is that if you're going to get something, get a proper brand, properly supported, and don't go for the cheapie. But most people want to have something cheap to play with, to learn how to use it. So they get the Lazada and they're maybe that size, yeah, that kind of size, pretty small.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, when buying a drone for the first time, what should you look for in that drone so that you can enjoy it and it's not going to let you down? And how much would that cost?
Right. I would say the factors you should look for is a good camera, which they all have fantastic cameras. Mine, the Mini 2, has a 4K video camera on it. So it'll record, and you stick a little memory card in the back of it, and it'll record video for 8 hours. The batteries only last for about 30 minutes, so it's going to take many, many flights to fill up that card. So I would look for a good camera, and I would look for one that is very stable. The Mini 2 is rated at wind class 6. I don't know what the classifications are, but even in a strong wind, that thing is rock solid. It will not be blown around by the winds.
It was very stable when we were on the golf course and you were shooting.
Yeah.
It was terrifically stable.
Yeah. Another thing to look for, but you're only going to find it in the higher level ones, is object avoidance. At the golf course, I flew mine into a tree and it just fell to the ground and was fine. But if you go up to the higher levels, they actually have probably ultrasonic sensors in the front, and you can fly it as hard as you want into the side of a building and it'll just stop.
Wow.
So
I can see why
that's
that
a
can
very
come in
powerful
handy.
feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there,
So-
go on. Is there any more things when looking for a drone that you should look out for?
Probably battery life would be another one. Although the engineering in these things is just magnificent, but the battery is about the size of a couple of packs of gum.
Yeah.
So it's just got a very limited lifetime. So I get about 30 minutes of flight time, and it will do at 20% left. It will start flashing and saying, you need to fly home now. And at 10%, it will just do an emergency landing all on its own.
Yeah.
So be careful of your battery power.
I've got a story behind that.
Go on.
A friend of mine who had his drone, and I think he was in Pattaya. He lost two drones, but probably the one in Bangkok's more interesting. So he was flying, and he flew across the Chao Phraya, on it. And it ran out of battery, and it fell in the water, and never got it back. But the other thing is that some of the features within the I think DJI has it, when it gets to a level, it comes home.
Oh, that was my question I wanted to ask. Is there a button where you can press and it'll come back home?
There is. It's called the return to home button. It's on the controller. You push it, and what you do previous to that is you set your return to home altitude. So you look around at what you're flying, and you set in the app, in the phone, you set it to an altitude that's higher than any obstacle in the area. If I have to fly over the Hilton, I'm going to set it at that height. What it does is wherever it is, it turns directly to you, and it flies to where you are, and then it flies straight down. And that way it avoids hitting anything on the way home. And I've come to trust that. And when I'm done my flying, I push return to home, and it'll land within a few inches of where it took off from. It's a magnificent
What is the
feature.
range on these things? How far can you go away from base?
Okay. The entire range is given by your radio transmitter maintaining contact with the drone. And with mine, my particular model, the antennas are out at the end of the clips that hold your phone into the controller base itself. So when you're flying, you essentially want to make sure that those antennas are pointed to the drone to get the best range.
Okay.
Now, it's not very good at going around corners, through buildings, through trees. But if you've got line of sight, I've gone as far as almost 3 kilometers before it started saying I'm losing contact. I've gone as short as 700 meters when I went around a turn on the train tracks here. So it's very dynamic, and you always have to keep notice of your transmitter efficiency and if it's maintaining contact.
What happens if it goes out of range? Will it return
If it
home?
goes out of range, yeah, after about 10 seconds, if the drone is unable to reestablish contact, it goes into return to home mode.
Okay.
So it will go up to your safe altitude, fly to you, and land.
All right,
Okay.
one other question which
So
I'm confused.
that's a very good safety feature.
When you buy a drone, do you get a console with it, or do you use your phone, or do you use both? How does that work?
It definitely depends on the model that you buy. The one I bought has a handheld controller that's got the joysticks for up, down, right, left, turn right, and all of that. It's got the return to home button. It's got a little rotor knob to adjust the gimbal of the camera up and down. But then for the smarts of it, you snap your camera, you snap your mobile phone into a little holder, and then plug in between the controller and your phone with a cable. And then your phone acts as the smart interface to the drone. It's got all the settings, and that's where the real-time video comes through, is on your phone rather than the controller itself.
Okay.
And that's why they can make it quite an affordable product, because they're putting a lot of the smarts into a device that you already own.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's how do you find out using this drone? You can have a feature where it follows you, so you could be
Some
moving
of the
on.
models
Basically, it's
have
about a couple
that.
of meters
Yeah.
in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah, my particular model doesn't have that, but it's a very cool feature. But you gotta go up to the next level for that. And the DJI and the other companies, there's a certain amount of common hardware, but then they add a little bit more and a little bit more features as you go up the price range.
Okay. Well, before we get to just what you're doing and your personal projects that you're doing with the drone, I just want to go quickly back to those 3 things you have to fill in, and maybe you should have a tie to do it, and then you can. For us residents, you don't want to have to keep doing it every 90 days. So your advice
You cannot,
would be,
it's impossible.
So get the wife if she's Thai, or get a friend to register it, and then you've got it for life, and there's no problem with you using it, right? Is that correct?
That is correct. Although on the one application for the pilot, you must be listed as an additional pilot, and you have to upload a picture of your passport and all your ID numbers and everything. But it's automatically approved, and there's no need to renew it after that.
Okay. All right. So
That's great.
So you're using this drone for business purposes, like Andrew does for his ClipCube Media. How are you using it, and what have you recently done?
Well, I started doing it because right through the center of Hua Hin, we have a new, here's my hand, we have a new train line construction project that's going right through the center of town and right next to my condo. I can see the construction from my condo window. And as the construction was progressing, I thought, wow, wouldn't it be great if we had a way to look and see how that construction process was going? So I thought that was my inspiration to get the drone, because all I have to do is fly the train line every month, and then we get kind of a rolling history of what's going on. And that was my first project. So I've done April, May, and now June flights of the train line, and putting it up on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is too small yet to get paid for, right? So this is just a money-losing hobby for me right now.
What's your YouTube channel called?
It's called Mike's Tropical Tech.
Mike's Tropical
And
Tech.
right, and I started off. I'm a retired software developer from IBM in the solar power industry, and when I came here, I still had the need to do something creative in the technical world. So I started doing circuit board projects and writing the software that runs inside them. I built a little air pollution sensor and a prototyping board, and my entire condo is set up with smart LEDs and smart controls on the aircon. So I've documented a lot of those projects and put them up on my website. I also have an electric scooter here, and I converted a 1973 Porsche 914 to full electric drive back home.
Oh, increasing the horsepower double, I suppose.
Yeah, it's far faster and quicker accelerating than when it came out of the factory. Unfortunately, because of the Thai rules about used cars, it's sitting in storage in an airplane hangar back in my old town, and I cannot bring it to Thailand as much as I would love to.
Well, you've done something with golf courses, right? That's the other video, which I think we'll be showing clips on this video, or on the description below. We'll give the link, something like that. So what's this one about then, mate?
Right. Well, I was starting to branch out beyond the train line construction projects and see what else is great for people to see from an overhead view of all the beautiful stuff going on here in Hua Hin. So I did the beach, I did Kowtow and the lake, up in the mountains, kite surfers. And then I got in touch with David Watson from Royal Coast Review and Richard, and they said, how about we do the Royal Hua Hin Golf Course, because he's got some contacts there. And after about a month from start to finish, we now have the Royal Hua Hin Golf Course video done and up on my YouTube channel.
That's excellent. Because you imagine playing golf and you're in America, England, and you're coming to Thailand. You know you're going to be playing that course. Get the video, and you can prepare yourself as golfers do. And you know, they can see the approach, they see the green, they see the blah blah blah. I guess that's why you're doing it. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. We didn't fly all 18 holes from tee to green, but we tried to hit the highlights of what makes this course special, especially the way that it's basically nestled right into the heart of the city and then goes up at the base of a mountain. And so we tried to get a lot of views of the beauty of the area. And they've got some of those topiary trees that are trimmed into the shape of animals. And so I've flown over some of the topiary, and then from the 18th green, I just zoom straight up, and then you get a panorama of the city from that. So we tried to get all the views.
And you also caught up with a few monkeys as well.
Yeah, we had monkeys there, we had owls.
So do you narrate this, or do you put music on it? Copyright-free music, no doubt, but...
Exactly. Copyright-free music is critical for YouTube videos. I've got a little bit of quiet, mood music in the background when I'm not talking. Actually, David Watson wrote the script. It's a beautiful, very, very descriptive script for the whole thing, and I did the voiceover and then put the audio clips in the right place. So there's the imagery, there's the voiceover, and then a little bit of music to fill in.
I know I'm asking all the questions,
no,
but you're quite quiet for a change. No. Where was I? So how will you use this video? Is it for sale? Is it on your channel, or are you giving it to the course and they can give to people? How does that work?
Yeah, it's the home base of the video is on my YouTube channel. I'm happy to give it away for free, but of course, I get the clicks and the views and the hours off that. Not that it means anything right now, but we have provided the video to the captain and Kun Peter at the course, and they're free to do whatever they want with it, to use it as promotion for the club.
I would like to say, if there's any drone pilots, I've got full of questions today. I don't know why.
You're gibbering away.
You're on form today.
I was up all night watching football, so that's surprising. Now, with all respect, there's many drone videos out there now with the copyright-free music, and they're high up. But there's a new phase of videos that are going on now, which are low-flying zones. I actually saw one with a zone that flew into a bar. And it went along the counter, and it was jumping over people's beers, and that seems to be.
Oh, I watched that one too. That's an impressive video.
Yes,
but here in Thailand, that is illegal. You cannot go within 50 meters of a building, horizontally, 50 meters away. So in the golf video, you'll notice that I fly up close to the new clubhouse, and it looks like I'm much closer than I am, but that's just because of the nature of the camera. It has a zoom, built into it. Yeah, but we're well back from the building, so we're not breaking any rules.
Would you say this is a good tool for, say, real estate agents that, like have got a site? Have a look at this. I know you could do with a video. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
But the drone's got a certain je ne sais quoi about it, hasn't it? It's got like a finesse. It's smoother as well.
It definitely does. That is a big industry for drones. In fact, I'm making arrangements with my real estate agent here in Hua Hin. She saw my video, and then now she wants me to go and fly it around some of her properties that she's got listed for sale. So we're going to go and do that in a little while.
Right. Any more questions before we wind
No,
it up?
no. I think you've given a great overview of it, and
I know a lot more.
But what I really like is I can see you've got a passion for it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes a difference. It's not just as a profession; it's a passion, and that is what I think is brilliant. Yeah.
Okay. Before you go, you mentioned not that we're going to talk about it now, and I know you're going back to the States for a while. But when you come back, I'd be interested to talk solar panels with you and how easy it is in Thailand, and is it economical? Because that's a big topic as well that I've been looking at, solar panels.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Kunini. I know that company quite well, and they're down in Hua Hin.
So maybe we can look at that a little bit more if you're willing to come back and chat with us, that is.
Sure, I'd love to do that. I worked in the solar industry in California for 5 years as the data monitoring engineer for what is now the largest solar company in America. Even though I'm Canadian, but I will accept your apology for assuming I'm American.
Don't worry, people think I'm English, but I'm actually Scottish.
Well, Michael, you've got to come from somewhere. So, thanks ever so much for joining us. As Andrew said, we've got loads of them. Richard, thank you for putting it together, mate. Thank you for organising this. It's been great. And till the next time.
Always good.
Yeah, till the next time.
All right.
Thanks
Look
a lot.
forward to it.
Okay, bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Well, there we go. That was so. Now you're going to go off and get another drone, a proper one.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We're going to recalibrate the one we got, but basically we got it just for testing. But I've got different drone operators that we actually use because of the licensing, and there are other things you have to take in consideration when you're flying a drone, and that's permits.
But he mentioned that.
No, you talk about licensing. Permits is when you're at a location, and sometimes, especially if it's out on a main road or something like that, you have to have permits.
In Thailand
to do that.
as well?
In Thailand, very much so, because the police will confiscate your equipment.
Okay.
So even on a beach, you're supposed to have a permit to do that, and you get that from the local office. But get
away with it. Yeah.
If you get away with it, fine. But that's a risk.
Yeah. You wouldn't take. I would. I know. I'd come back with all these videos. You go,
you're semi-retired.
I've got much to lose, really. All right, that's it. I hope you found that useful. Drones are not for everybody, but they are, I say, up and coming. They're already arrived.
I think kids love it. I mean, get a play one. Get one of the tiny wee ones.
Well, they used to have those little helicopter ones, didn't they? Like remote control ones a long time ago.
We used to, you remember it used to the people having flying planes, and they had a little strip with their model planes.
Do you remember the ones on the cables?
No,
I remember the ones on the cables.
Well, they actually had little engines.
That's radio-controlled planes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, there we are. Hope you enjoyed it.
We're old.
Bangkok.
Somewhere else. I'm saying it before anybody else says
it. Bangkok ChitChat, and we'll see you next time here on the channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
See you later.